Shabbat Shalom. I wanted to give you a little part two on our recent synagogue tour of Israel. While the memories are still fresh and vivid, I wanted to share them with you. A couple more significant things that happened while we were there. One is, for the first time, I was at the Western Wall on a Friday evening. Now, I don't know if you've been at the Western Wall on a Friday evening before, or I don't know if it was like this 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, but now if you go to the Western Wall on a Friday evening, there are thousands of people that fill the entire Western Wall plaza. And these are Jews from all walks of life and all ages, from Haredi to liberal, from old to young, from secular to religious. They're all out there, and there are perhaps between 100 and 200 different Friday evening services that are being chanted in different ways, at different rates, different beginnings and different endings. And the overall effect is one of such energy, and it's such a Jewish spectacle, like I've never seen before. I've never felt so much Jewish energy concentrated in one place before as that. And so our tour group, we stood around in a little circle, not actually anywhere near the wall, but in the plaza. And we had our own little Kabbalat Shabbat service facing each other, the 12 of us or so that were there. And it was very, very fulfilling to do that service in that environment. And of course, a lot of people going home already because they had davened earlier than we were. And many Haredim, many Orthodox, very traditional types were looking at us doing our service. A couple people were curious and wanted to know what we were doing. Some of them even joined in a little bit. So a very, very wonderful, fulfilling experience there at the Western Wall on Friday night. And I had this very strong feeling that it's not only that this activity is limited to the Western Wall, but there's something about that phenomenon of it's like a pulsating heart that is nourishing the whole of Shabbat and the whole of Jewish life everywhere in the world, so that I had this strong feeling, especially coming home, that our little Friday night service that we do here at 5:30 with maybe 15 or 20 people, much quieter obviously than what was going on at the Western Wall, is still not separate from that Friday night service with all that energy. And in fact, that what goes on there nourishes what we do here on a Friday night. And also what we do here on a Friday night has its effect on what is going on in Israel. So a very, very nice experience of symbiosis where the two experiences, different as they are and as separate in time and space as they are mutually enriching. The other experience I wanted to talk about took place in the Golan Heights. As you know, there is a bloody civil war going on in Syria. You never really feel like you're in a war zone when you're in Israel, except under very exceptional circumstances. So we were given a tour of the Golan Heights on one of the days of our tour. And the tour leader, Chaim Aronovitz, made a point of showing just how short the distance is between one point and another in the Golan Heights. It took us a 10-minute bus ride to get to the place in the Golan Heights that was the furthest penetration of the Syrian tanks in 1973. Only 10 minutes from the Galil. That's how close they got. And we drove another 10 minutes, and we were already at the edge of the Golan Heights, looking out into Syria. It's quite a spectacular view, actually. You're at that point overlooking the Syrian town of Quneitra. And all seemed well and quiet enough. There were two Israeli army colonels there. One was briefing the other on the situation, and they both looked young enough to be our children, I have to say. But they're the ones charged with the responsibility of defending the land of Israel. And we took a picture with them, and then as we were getting back on the bus, suddenly we hear this boom. And there was an artillery shell that had exploded just about 10 kilometers from where we were. We could see the smoke rising from the point of impact. And I thought, you know, this really is a war zone. And if in the very brief time that we were there, maybe 15 minutes altogether, we saw activity like this going on, it really means that it's a hot war. And thank God that it's not in Israel. At the same time, even seeing this battle, which is not our battle, and seeing it off in the distance, a safe distance, it gave me the willies. It made you realize that this region that Israel is situated in is not a safe region. It's not stable. It's not peaceful. And thank God Israel has its wits about itself, because it is an island of stability and peace and human rights in a very rough neighborhood. So I'll have one more recollection for you, or maybe two, in our next video next week. But for now, I thank you for listening, and wonderful to share with you, and Shabbat Shalom.